Hey everyone, today we are going to do a deep dive into one of the core concepts of JavaScript, which is functions. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced developer, understanding how functions work is crucial to mastering JavaScript. So let's get into it. So let's start from the basic. What exactly is a function? In simple terms, a function is a reusable block of code that can be executed when it is called. You can think of it like a recipe. When you follow the steps or call the recipe, you get a result. In JavaScript, we use functions to structure our code, reduce repetition, and create more modular programs. Create a file and open it in VS Code.
Now create one JS file and one HTML file. Write the HTML boiler template.py pressing and hit the enter. Change the title name. Add a h1 tag and link the JS file with HTML.
So let me create a simple function and I will be explaining it as video goes. Here we have defined a function called greet. It takes one argument, name, and prints a greeting message to the console. To see the output, open the file in Chrome browser and inspect the web page, and you can see the output, and it is Hello Alice. Now that we know what a function is, let's talk about how to define one in JavaScript. Here's the general syntax. Function, function name, parameter, open curly braces, function body, closing curly braces. Let's break it down. The function keyword is followed by the function names, which should be descriptive of what it does. After that, we have parentheses, where you can define parameters, values that the function need to operate on. You can pass multiple parameters in it. These parameters are like placeholder for the data that's passed into the function. For example, you might pass in a number, string, or even an object. Inside the function, the code is executed when the function is called. One important concept to understand is the return statement. A function can do some work, but it can also give you a result back using return. Let's modify our greet function so that it returns a value instead of just logging it. So remove the console and return hello name. Now instead of logging the getting, the function returns the getting message. When you call greet, you can store result in a variable like this. Let message equal to greet Alice console.log message. To see the output, let's go to the Chrome browser and refresh the web page, and you can see the output, and it is Hello Alice. Function expressions and arrow functions. JavaScript also support functions expression, which means you can assign functions to variables. This is super useful when working with higher order functions or functions that accept other functions as argument. Example of function expansions. Const add equal to functions a b parentheses return a plus b. In this case, we assign an anonymous function to a variable called add. You can now call the add function with value 2 and 3 to get the result of 5. To see the result, go to the Chrome browser and refresh the page, and you can see the result, which is 5. And of course, with ES6, we also have arrow functions, which is shorter, more concise syntax for writing functions. And to convert this function in arrow function, it is like this. Const add equal to ab equal sign arrow sign a plus b. And if we call the functions, we get the same result. To verify it, let's refresh the web page, and you can see the output is same. Arrow functions are particularly great for shorter functions and callbacks. Scope and closures. Now let's dive a little deeper into scope and closures. Scope refers to the accessibility of variables in different parts of your code. A function has access to variables that are in its own scope and also variable from its outer scope. Example of variable scope and closure functions. Functions outer function. Let outer bar equal to I am from the outer scope. Functions inner functions. Console.log outer bar. Call the inner function. Now call the outer function. To see the output, refresh the page, and you can see the output, and which is I am from the outer function. Even though outer bar is declared in outer function, the inner function can still access it. This is what we can call a closure. When a function remembers the environment in which it was created, even after it is executed. Or we can say a closure allows a function to access variable from its outer function even after the function has finished executing. Higher order functions. Let's talk about higher order functions. These are the functions that can accept other function as argument or return functions as values. Example of higher order functions. Function multiply by factor, return functions, return x into factor. As you can see, we have two functions, a outer function and a inner functions. And to call the inner function, we can write it and also print it console.log multiply by 2 5. To verify the output, refresh the press and the output is 10. In this case, multiply by 2 is a higher order function because it returns a new function. We can then create a new function multiply by 2 which multiplies any input by 2. Higher order functions are foundational in functional programming and make your code more flexible and reusable. Alright, we have covered a lot today. How functions are defined, how to return values, and different ways to write functions like functional expression and arrow function, and some different concepts like closure and higher order functions. Whole video in short. Functions are block of reusable code. You can define functions with parameters and return values. JavaScript has functions, expressions, and arrow function. Closure allow function to remember the environment in which they were created. Higher order functions are those that take our functions as argument or return them. That's it for today. Deep dive into JavaScript functions. I hope this helped you get a better understanding of how they work and how you can use them in your project. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth tutorials. And if you have any questions or comment, drop them below. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.